The November 7th meeting of the Youth Commission is called to order at 6:30 p.m. I would like to introduce Commissioner Lee to introduce the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
If everyone could please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lee. Now we will have roll call led by Staff Liaison Francine Spriegel.
Commissioner Boyajian?
Here.
Commissioner Brousseau?
Here.
Commissioner Bryman?
Here.
Commissioner Cutler-Dye?
Here.
Commissioner Lederer is absent. Commissioner Lee?
Here.
Commissioner Leone?
Here.
Commissioner George McGuigan?
Here.
Commissioner Jed McGuigan?
Here.
Commissioner Sauté?
Here.
Commissioner Schooley?
Here.
Commissioner Sklavenites?
Here.
Commissioner Stein?
Here.
Adult Commissioner Nalbandian?
Here.
And Commissioner Petrus is absent. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask Commissioner Cutler-Dye to introduce the public comment section of our meeting.
Time in our meeting where we invite members of the public to state their concerns about youth-related issues in our city or to present items for Commission's consideration. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak at this time? Okay. Annalise Tung, please come to the podium.
Hi, my name is Annalise Tung, and I'm a senior at Westlake High School, and I want to thank the Commission for having me speak today. I also want to thank the community's government programs like Youth Women's Leadership that happened on October 27th, and the Youth Summit, and even this Commission itself for just enforcing student empowerment and just motivating students like us to take leadership positions and be inspired to take active roles. Another example of this would be at Westlake High School, such as motivational speakers. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cutler-Dye. At this time, I would like to introduce Commissioner Sauté to introduce the guest speaker for today.
Today we have speaker Joni Burns from the Cvusd Recycling Coordinator. Joni has extensive waste and recycling experience. She worked on a broad variety of related issues as a technical advisor with the Irish government, a program manager with the state of Wisconsin, and as a private environmental consultant. Here she is.
Thank you, Commissioner Sauté. Thank you all for inviting me to come and speak, or allowing me to come and speak. What I wanted to do today is to give you a little bit of an update and just share some more information about the Cvusd Recycles program. That's the district-wide recycling program that was initiated through a state grant given to the City of Thousand Oaks. So if we could start the presentation, great. So my counterpart at the city, Chris Ball, did come and talk to the Commission and tell you a bit about this, but just to give you an overview to remind you, the city got the largest grant that was given out by the state for recycling grants, and it was over $200,000. The primary focus is the cans and bottles, and the reason for that is that there's a lot of earning potential, and you'll see that in my future slides. Some of the key elements of it are to provide recycling infrastructure, so that would be recycling containers and storage sheds and trash pickers and whatnot. So some of you might have seen these start to show up in your schools, more recycling bins. Another big piece is outreach and education. That's where I come in to come and do things like this. Another big element of that is waste audits, and I'll be talking about those a little bit further. And then there is a monitoring and a reporting element to this, and that's just to show some accountability to the state, to show them that their money is being well spent. So the things I really want to focus on, again, are the cans and bottles element, and to demonstrate to you where there's some really good earning potential. Some of the outreach, I'm going to talk to you about our waste audits, which is literally dumpster diving, and then the reporting requirement of that, just to remind folks about that and to let you know about that. So our waste audits, we did comprehensive waste audits at 9 schools throughout the district. What we did is we asked them to reserve, the custodial staff to reserve 1 day's worth of trash and recycling. So if you can imagine a pile of garbage bags, that's what we came to do. And we sorted through it, and we sorted it into a number of categories, and the categories are there on the presentation, and that gives you an idea of what we were looking for. This gives you an idea of what it looked like. This is Redwood. This is at Wildwood. We did try to get the students involved to help us sort through the waste. So we were literally digging through the garbage. Now, ideally, you don't want to recycle at the end. You want to recycle at the beginning. But the purpose of this exercise was to see what was being put in the trash, what was being put in the recycling, and how can we improve on both of those. There's me talking at Newberry Park High School. So we tried to really share with the students what we were finding as we did the audits, and then at the end we had results. So this, what we were finding in the waste streams of schools was relatively universal, enough so that I could give it to you in this one presentation. It's a little hard to see, but the compostable component of the waste was inevitably the majority, and a lot of that owes to the weight of compostable materials. This is all done by weight. Similarly, if you look in that upper right-hand corner, you'll see the CRV. So plastic bottles was only 1.2%, but if you can think about how much a single plastic bottle weighs, it's not very much. So the quantities can really add up, and I'll show you that next. This is the value of the materials we found in the trash. So when you talk about throwing money away, again, it's hard to see, but the highest peak there is Thousand Oaks High School, $4,500 worth of cans and bottles being thrown away each year. Now, that's extrapolated over 180 days. So this is based on what we found in 1 day's worth of trash, and then I just multiplied by 180. So it's not definite, but it's very strong reflection of what you can find. Similarly, Redwood, $3,519. Newberry Park High School, $951. Now, they are already collecting cans and bottles, so that's probably why their number is much lower. Another big thing that I kind of want to make sure everyone is really aware of is the amount of unused and unopened food we found, because this is a really simple thing to fix, and that's just a matter of not throwing away food, telling your parents you don't want something in your lunch, putting something back or not taking it in the first place, or just communicating with people about, the right thing to do here. And, this is from one school. We're talking 40 containers of milk, 57 sandwiches that were packed in their lunches that they didn't even open. We found a lot of things that were really surprising to me looking at how my eating habits in grade school, middle school, and high school. Cookies, granola bars, chips, Doritos, we were baffled as to why we were finding this in the trash. So this gives you an idea of what we were finding. I've just got some pictures here because it really demonstrates, this is the true example of waste. All in the trash, just found in the trash. So recycling, it's a little harder to summarize. I can't give you one of those pretty pie charts because it was very inconsistent, and a lot of that owes to some of the schools already have really proactive programs. Some of them run their programs very differently. So what we found in the recycling, the levels of contamination were very, very variable. But that was the big element, was the contamination was remarkable at some of the schools and very minimal at others. And the factors that were really influencing what we found were, again, what the school was collecting and where. For example, some schools only focus on their lunch programs, but they don't recycle at all in the classrooms. Some do the opposite. Sometimes the school will just say, everything from the classroom we're going to put in the recycling bin. That can be effective, but a lot of times that can be really counterproductive, because if you're eating lunch in your classroom and you're putting all of the waste that comes from the classroom in the recycling bin, you're putting sandwiches and plastic bags and all sorts of stuff that can't be recycled, and that really compromises the ability on the back end to be able to recycle those materials. And that's something I'd love for you folks to help your school improve upon. Whether it is you've got your recycling containers, keeping an eye, letting folks know, hey, you probably shouldn't be putting that in the recycling bin, or just being more attentive to how the waste is handled in the school generally, and looking for recycling bins if there isn't one in your classroom. So common contaminants are the biggest issues. Is just people didn't know what can be recycled, and a lot of people think plastic bags, for example, can be recycled, and they actually can't. You can take plastic bags to a grocery store for a specific recycling initiative there, but you can't be putting plastic bags in your recycling container. Similarly, paper towels. It's got the word paper in it. It's paper, but it's not recyclable in the recycling stream, and that is a common contaminant. So that's, again, something that if you're seeing that might be something to just take up with the school, or at least let your fellow students know, it's not actually recyclable. And then, the inavailability of just having a trash can. That's great that you have recycling bins, but if there's not a trash can there and you've got a piece of trash in your hand, do you seek out a trash can, or do you just put it in that container? And, some say it's laziness. I think it's human nature. But this gives you an idea of the variability of contamination. And again, what I want to point out here is the very, very, very high levels of contamination. Those high numbers are 68%, 83%, and 64%. What that does is risk having the entire recycling stream rejected, because the recycling facility will look at it and say, we can't sort through that. It's not worth salvaging. And that's unfortunate. The total value of the CRV materials generated by schools. So what we did is we looked at not only the trash, but we did look at what the school is already recycling. And a lot of times they're not redeeming those cans and bottles. It's a wonderful first step to at least be putting it in the school's dumpsters that go for recycling. But again, these numbers, I'm just going to read across very quickly because these are grade school, middle school, and high school. $315, $1,450, $1,642, $3,690. The next one, $1,530, is Newberry Park. We have not audited their cans and bottles yet. I'm going to be doing that this Friday. I would suspect that it's going to be closer to about $4,000 there, because the next one, Redwood, $4,365. Thousand Oaks High School, $4,923. That's homecoming. That's real money. $702, $459. So even these very small schools, that small one on the far left, Glenwood Elementary, very small elementary school, barely found anything. Still, when you add it up, that's $315 that could be recouped. So the last element of the program I just want to share with you is that we do have an accountability of the state, and we have a big goal, and this is to really try and drive the program. We have an 80% recovery rate, and that is to say, I showed you those graphics to show you how much we found in the trash. We want to see if we can, for the schools that participate, they can recover 80% of all those cans and bottles. So we'll estimate what they're generating at their school if we haven't audited. And then if you're doing a bottle and can recycling program, we'll try to get those numbers up to where you're recovering 80%. The schools are going to need to report into our program so that we can then pass that on to the state. So that's where, as time goes on, as the program develops, that's where we're really going to need help to make sure that if your school is doing any kind of a program, that you are keeping an eye on it and tracking that. And that can be done through things like using the receipts from the redemption, or I'm absolutely available to help if your school isn't doing the redemption. If you have a 33-gallon bag of cans, I can help you with the math to figure out how much that is. And that's something we're working to develop. But the bottom line, the real key message there, you can't manage what you can't measure. I think that's a real takeaway, is that you really have to have a handle on what you're dealing with before then you can find the best solutions. Like I say, Glenwood Elementary, there's so few cans and bottles there, it may not be effective for them to set up a really comprehensive program, but they at least now know what they're looking at and what their potential is. So that's it. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you again for letting me speak. And I see there's two, so I'll go to you.
Thank you. And first of all, I would like to say we appreciate all the work you've been doing, because, we all want the environment to be as clean as possible, because we want it to be around for us and for our future generations. So, and also I wanted to ask if you've been working closely with a lot of the high schools have environmental clubs. Have you reached out to them to possibly see if they could do the calculations or help the administrators do the calculations?
We definitely have reached out to the recycling clubs to the extent possible. A lot of times what I'll do is my first point of contact will be the principal, and then they'll put me in touch with a teacher coordinator or a parent coordinator at different schools. So yes, we are starting to do that. It's early days, and a lot of that is just developing. But for example, on Friday, it's the recycling club that's going to be helping me at Newberry Park High School to get those cans and bottles together. So absolutely.
And was this project your idea, or was it like the schools, or how did you come up with this idea?
This was the wonderful idea of the great city of Thousand Oaks. They really took the initiative to go out and get that grant, and when they saw the opportunity for the grant, they approached the school district. So we really have the city to thank for getting this started. And I only came on board about 3 or 4 months ago, so I'm just as grateful as everyone else to get involved and to have them to really spearhead it. Okay, great. Thank you again for letting me speak with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If someone in the audience has
Thank you so much. And thank you, Commissioner Sote. I would now like to turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Lee.
Thank you, Chair Sclavenici. So in addition to being an advisory board to City Council, the Youth Commission also appoints commissioners to act as liaisons to various youth organizations. So to start off, one of the youth organizations is the Thousand Oaks Library Teen Advisory League. So Commissioner Brousseau, can you please tell us more information?
The Thousand Oaks Library has a representative here today to speak with us about the programs that have been going on. So Leah, if you could please tell us what's been happening at the library.
Hello, my name is Leah Cvusd. I'm a sophomore at Westlake High, and I'm a member of TOTAL, or the Thousand Oaks Teen Advisory League, and I am here to talk briefly about what's happening at the Thousand Oaks Library. The Thousand Oaks Reads One City, One Book citywide literary event has just wrapped up this past weekend following a 4-week celebration of programs and activities. We want to thank the Youth Commission for co-hosting the One City, One Book Teen Day on October 21st. Those who attended had a great time, and special thanks to Commissioners Brousseau and Sote and Francine Spiegel for all of their hard work and coordinating efforts. Tomorrow night, November 8th at 6:30 p.m., popular author Brandon Mull will be at the Thousand Oaks Library. Brandon, who graduated from Westlake High School, is the author of the best-selling Beyonders and Fablehaven series for young adults. He will discuss his career and introduce his book, Candy Shop War Book 2, The Arcade Catastrophe, at this free program. Copies of his books will be up for sale, and the author will sign copies following the program. Coming up later in November, teens can visit the Grant R. Brimhall Library to see NASA lunar samples and a regolith exhibit, which will be open for viewing during regular library hours on November 24th and November 25th. Andrea Diamond, an NASA JPL certified educator, will explain these NASA-sanctioned samples from the moon that are part of the exhibit and answer questions during 40-minute programs scheduled throughout the weekend. This free program is part of the Thousand Oaks Library's 30th anniversary celebration. A mobile catalog for smartphone users is now available at the Thousand Oaks Library website. Visit www.toaks.org/library and click on Mobile Catalog to connect to Air PAC and access Thousand Oaks and Newbury Park Library holdings anywhere from your fingertips. When you need reliable information, take advantage of the powerful research tools available at your library. Check the website. Again, that's tooaks.org/library. For additional details about these research tools, the programs I mentioned, and don't forget to like the Thousand Oaks Library Facebook page to receive future notifications about library programs and events. Thank you for letting me come and present some brief information about what is happening at the Thousand Oaks Library. We hope you will all check it out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And on behalf of the Commission, I'd also like to thank everyone who came out to the Teen Day at the library. We really had a great time. So with that, back to Vice Chair Lee.
Thank you, Commissioner Brousseau. And now can Commissioner George McGuigan please introduce the ASB-ASG portion of our meeting?
Thank you, Vice Chair Lee. The Youth Commission invites representatives from each of the local high schools and middle schools to present information about school activities for the purpose of generating a feeling of community spirit. First off, we have Kira Bird from Sycamore Canyon Middle School.
Currently we're having the Ticket to Win It fundraiser at lunch, and we can win a Boney Mountain Jamba Juice or a Golden Spoon gift card. We had our thank you teacher luncheon last Friday, and we had a record-breaking dance on October 3rd that had 300 people. And our school is participating in the Village, which is our local shopping center, is window display competition. And all participants get $100, and the voting is going on from the 29th to the 31st of November, I think. And we have a chocolate milk and donuts Renaissance reward for our school on the 19th. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Thank you so much for sharing some of the events that are going on at your school. Next, we have Jonathan Bryman and Colton Bourne from Los Cerritos Middle School.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Bryman. I'm a 7th grader at Los Cerritos Middle School.
Hi, I'm Colton Bourne. I'm a 6th grader at Los Cerritos Middle School.
Students at Los Cerritos have had a busy fall. We recently had our annual Halloween dance where students were allowed to dress in costume. There was a haunted house and inflatables. Pizza was served as an extra treat. We have had several lunchtime activities that helped to increase school spirit. The winners receiving...
In October, over 50 members of the leadership group Builders Club, some of our staff members, and several parents participated in the Conejos Foundation Walk for Healthy Schools. Our ASB was a sponsor of that walk. We sent a team of students and staff to the mud run and was put on Conejo Parks and Recs Department. This year, recycling is a big focus at our school with Builders Club and leadership students assisting to collect bottles and cans at lunch. All proceeds will go to charities. One of our charities is Free the Children. We had a great turnout and many contributions to the Man of Food drive, We Scare Hunger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for that great report. Lastly, we have Grace Fratello Haycom and April Ball from Colina Middle School.
Hi, I'm April.
And hi, I'm Grace.
Our Halloween Carnival had a great turnout. ASB raised over $100 for breast cancer awareness. Our girls volleyball team is going strong. We are currently in first place and we are heading into playoffs next weekend. Boys soccer team won the championship. Also, we are establishing the new recycling program that was previously stated.
For November, we are starting an essay contest for students of all grades, which will be based upon our quote of the month. There will be a winner for each grade level, and each winner will receive $10. ASB received our first official ASB t-shirts, and they have our motto, ASB the Change, on the front. Renaissance will be rewarding students with kettle corn on this Friday, November 9th. We will be starting movie nights in December, and our first one will be for the 8th graders on December 18th. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'm going to turn the meeting back to Vice Chair Lee.
Thank you, Commissioner McGuigan. And I would also like to give a huge thank you to all of the ASB and ASG representatives who came out tonight. We really appreciate it. And next, I would like to introduce Commissioner Boyajian, who will discuss the Teen Center Advisory Committee.
Hello, everyone. My name is Commissioner Boyajian, and I'm a member of the Teen Center Advisory Committee. We had a very busy month this October with a number of special events. To start off, the Boys Friendly Soccer Tournament on October 2nd, 10th, and 18th, and it ended with the championships on October 26th. This event included a barbecue for all the players and their families. Also, Saturday morning, girls' middle school volleyball league started on October 6th. We currently have around 40 girls involved that play every Saturday morning. Next, also, on October 6th, we hosted the Ventura County's Next Vocal Superstar competition for area high school teens. 11 participants demonstrated outstanding talent, while over 250 audience members watched. On October 27th, we had our annual Halloween Blacklight Dance for 7th and 8th graders. About 500 teens turned out. We also had a great costume contest. The next morning, the 28th, we had our third annual Conejo Valley Mud Run at the Dos Vientos Community Park. This event had over 2,000 in attendance with 800 runners participating. Each weekend throughout October, the Reign of Terror was open at the Jan's Marketplace. This is our biggest fundraiser for all, as well as the Hillcrest Center for the Arts. I hope a lot of you attended because it was something special. Coming up in the next few weeks, we'll have our Harvest Dance for 7th and 8th graders on Saturday, November 17th, our annual high school Battle of the Bands on Saturday, December 1st, and our Holiday Dance for 7th and 8th graders on Saturday, December 15th. Everyone can get more information about these events by going onto the Teen Center's website at thousandoaksteencenter.com. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Chair Cvusd.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lee. And the next part of the agenda is project activities and reports. And the Youth Commission undertakes a number of projects during the year. I will introduce the following commissioners who will oversee the coordination of these projects and ask them to present summaries and provide any updates. So first we have Jed McWegan with the Youth Implementation Updates. Commissioner McWegan.
Okay, so we had our last youth implementation, or our first youth implementation meeting last month, and our next one will be on the 14th. So I'm just going to call on each commissioner that's heading one of these committees. So could we have Commissioner McGuigan Commissioner George McGuigan for the Drugs and Alcohol Committee?
Certainly. We had an extremely successful meeting last, or a couple Tuesdays ago. With the help of Mr. Webb, Mrs. Mervin, and the youth in our group, we were able to come up with some of the goals that we seek to accomplish this year. We're hoping to conduct an anonymous survey where students could share information about what they've seen or heard at the school level without fear of further inquiry, to kind of inspect the severity of the problem in a middle school and high school level. Another one of of our goals is a video production or anti-drug alcohol poster contest within the schools. By doing this, we hope students will feel more connected to the problem at hand and seek to divulge other students from these kind of activities. Lastly, we can see about setting up a one-on-one counseling program at the school level if we can receive some interest. So please come to our meetings. We could still use some more volunteers. So I believe they're going to announce the date for the next meeting. I do not know personally, but hopefully someone else will make that point. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now can we have Commissioner Stein talk about the Recreation Committee?
So I am the co-chair of the Recreation Committee this year with Commissioner Bryman, and we were throwing around some ideas for a recreation event this year, and the one we decided on for this upcoming year was a snow party / dance for the teen center, where we would run a snow machine during the winter time and kind of just have a fun little get-together for middle school and high school students to intermingle at the teen center. And so we're looking into prices for the snow machine, details with the teen center, and other details like that. So back to Chair McGuigan.
All right, could we have Chair Sklavenichis talk about the Resource Center Committee?
Thank you, Commissioner McGuigan. Currently, we are working on getting even more nonprofit organizations into our database. Each committee member has been assigned a specific topic within the database, such as health, activities, sports, and they're looking for nonprofit organizations that match that. So our next meeting next week will be hopefully finalizing all the nonprofits that will be going into the database. Thank you.
All right, finally, could we have Commissioner Sauté talk about the Environmental Committee?
For the Environmental Committee, we are working with Chris Ball, and we're trying to start a Facebook page for recycling, and we're also going to be doing a district-wide competition where we're voting for the new recycling mascot. So each school is going to have a few different bins with a picture of each mascot, and then whatever bin gets the most recycling material will win, and that'll become the new recycling mascot. And we're just working on getting that set up. Thank you.
All right, sorry. Now this is the last committee. Could we have Commissioner Leone talk about the Empowerment Committee?
Hi, I'm Commissioner Leone. So our empowerment committee this term is working with Melinda Crown, founder of Girls in Power organization. So she's trying to get her foundation off the ground. It's a nonprofit, and she works with young ladies in training them in self-empowerment and goal setting. And so we're going to help her get awareness out to the schools. So that's our main goal this year. We want to establish clubs on campus as well as maybe some assemblies to raise awareness about her foundation. So we are going to work on designing constitutions and such and getting more people actually in our committee too. So we need people. So definitely come to our next youth empowerment youth implementation meeting and join our empowerment group.
All right, thank you, commissioners. So our next youth implementation meeting will be on November 14th at 6 p.m. in the TO library. So it'd be great if anyone who's interested could come by. You just preferably high school students, and you can join any one of these groups that you've heard, and it would really be great because we really love some help. All right. So back to you, Chair Cvusd.
Thank you, Commissioner McGuigan. I would now like to introduce Commissioner Leone to talk about the Mayor Young Women's Leadership Seminar.
Hello again. So on October 27th, we all had a really good time at our Young Women's Leadership Empowerment Seminar, this is our first time doing the event, and it was really successful. So our young ladies that day heard from speakers Melinda Crown, founder of Girls in Power. They heard from some representatives from Toastmasters, as well as Arlene Scavone, founder of Sweet Arlene's Cupcakes and winner of Food Network's Cupcake Wars. And they also heard from Dr. Grossman, a gynecologist from Los Robles Hospital. The speakers shared their stories with us and inspired us to follow our dreams and achieve our goals. They led us through interactive activities to help us with goal setting, self-discovery, and interview and public speaking skills. Our participants had a lot of fun and learned a lot, and it was a really successful event. So I just want to say thank you to the speakers that came to enlighten us all and to everyone who made this event happen.
Thank you, Commissioner Leone. I would now like to introduce Commissioner Stein to talk about the Therapeutic Dance.
Hi, I am the chair of the Therapeutic Dance this year, and so basically the Therapeutic Dance is a dance for people 13 and up who have mental and physical disabilities, and it's like a prom-type dance for people at the Teen Center, and it's going to be on March 9th this year. The theme is, we just said the theme a couple weeks ago, it's going to be Welcome to the Jungle. Dress is going to be casual as always, so like cargo shorts and a jungle safari hat, or I'll see what I can scrap up. Animal print, whatever. And if you want to sign up, you can either go directly to the Teen Center and fill out the form and pay the fee, or you can go to crpd.org and sign up there. The phone number for CRPD is 805-381-2739. We have good ways to go on there. We're still working in our 3 committees, the Entertainment Committee, the Decorations Committee, and the Photo Committee. So we have a good chunk of time before the dance, but please sign up, please come. We need a lot of volunteers. Come to the implementation meetings. We're going to be talking about it there too, and we're going to have a great dance this year.
Thank you, Commissioner Stein. And now as we come to the close of our meeting, I would like to introduce Commissioner Schooley to talk about the commissioner comments.
Okay, so this is the last portion of our meeting where commissioners can provide any information or comments or announcements, which no action by the commission will be taken. So at this time, are there any commissioner comments? Go ahead, Stein, Commissioner.
Go like our page on Facebook, the Thousand Oaks Youth Commission. We need likes because then you can get all our information via Facebook. You can get them on your smart little smartphone, and it's going to be great. So back to you.
Go ahead, Commissioner Russo.
Again, I'd just like to thank everyone who came out for the great Teen Day that we had celebrating the One City, One Book campaign at the library. And I'd also like to reiterate that you should go and like our Facebook page because we will be updating it even more often with information about all of our events. So go ahead and do that, please.
Go ahead, George McGuigan.
One of our close family friends is hoping to send a few large boxes of warm clothes and sweaters over to the hurricane victims on the East Coast. So if you could gather anything that you'd like to donate, and if you're interested in donating, please email me at wgmcguigan at msn.com. Sorry, that's wg mcguygan@msn.com. You can drop off, or we can pick up also. So if you could just spread the word to local family and friends, that would be awesome. The ship date is this Saturday, November 10th, so it's kind of short notice, but if you had anything to donate, blankets, sweaters, or warm coats, that'd be most appreciated. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Commissioner Schooley, and I would just like to reiterate that our next Youth Implementation Plan meeting is next week, Wednesday, November 14th at the Thousand Oaks Library at 6 p.m., so if you are interested in coming to volunteer, please attend. Besides that, if you have any questions about any of the agenda items discussed, you can email us at youthcommission@toaks.org. So this November 7th meeting has been adjourned at 7:06 p.m. Thank you.